Of course, it's always best to try to shoot your footage perfectly the first time, but sometimes, even for the professionals and the experts, that doesn't happen. That's why we use advanced color correction and lighting tools inside of Premiere and After Effects to fix some of the problems that you may have overlooked, forgotten about, or maybe just everything happened too fast for you to get the shot correctly the first time. So what I'm doing is I am inside of Adobe Premiere and I have my clip that I'd like to relight inside of Premiere already. First thing I'm going to do is click on that clip and drag it to this post-it looking note type thing. What that's going to do is it's going to create a sequence that's based off of the settings from the clip. So that way everything matches. I've got the same resolution in my sequence or timeline as I do in my original clip. Everything looks good and works. So when I go in and play this clip, we're actually going to turn off the sound. We don't need to hear her for any of this. I noticed that when this was shot, the camera's exposing to the background here. She's standing in front of this TV, and it's exposed to the TV behind her, which is much brighter than her. So she's a little underexposed. Right there at the end, we see that the videographer's turned up the exposure, whereas it should have been exposed that way the entire time. But at the beginning of the clip, not so much. So there's a couple of things that we can do to help this clip out. The first thing that we can do is inside of Adobe Premiere. Now, depending on what version of Premiere you're using, some of the controls and some of the look may be different, but most of the effects will stay the same. So I'm going to go into the Effects tab and type in, let's see, I like the three-way color corrector. So I typed in color, we filter down to three-way color corrector. I'm going to click and drag that over to my video clip. So again, I went from my project tab to the effects tab. I found the three-way color corrector and I dragged that onto my clip. Now you'll notice nothing happens, and that's correct. I need to go into my effects controls tab to really play around with some of the effects in here. And what I'm really going to be focusing on are input levels. These three sliders. These are shadows, midtones, and highlights. And you'll notice if I begin to drag the midtones to the left, we get darker, but if we go to the right, we get a little bit brighter. And that will give us back, dragging up the shadows a little bit, will give us back some of the contrast. Perhaps we want to give, we're very blue here. We've got blue lighting up here in the top right. We've got blue lighting behind her. Maybe we want to add in a little bit of orange to cancel out that blue and to really kind of brighten up the frame. So what I'm going to do is click on Master and then drag these to a little bit into the orange area. And what you can do to preview and see, what's happened to our video is this little effects tab up here next to three-way color corrector. We can toggle on and off the effect. So we can see what has happened to that clip based on some of the three-way color correction we've done. Now, you've just applied this to one clip. Say you have a lot of clips in your sequence. I'm just going to pretend that these are separate clips. So we see that we've got the effect in this clip, but we don't have the effect in this clip. One of the things that we can do is apply an adjustment layer to one of the other video tracks, like video 2. If you've used adjustment layers in Photoshop, it works very similar. But since I don't have a million clips in this sequence, what I'm going to do is just highlight this effect up here in the top left effect control window. Hit Command C or Control C on Windows machines. Highlight the other clips and then hit Control V or Command V on a Mac. And what it's done is it's copied over that effect onto the other clips. But this isn't the end-all be-all for color correction or relighting of clips. So what I'm actually going to do is click on this file, go into Effects Controls, click on my three-way color corrector and hit delete. That removes any effect from your clip, and you can use that for any other type of effect that you may have added to your clip. So I'll keep these other clips the same, but I will remove the effect here. And what I'm going to do now is right-click on this clip and select Replace with After Effects Composition. And we're getting an error. I will pick this up in a second tutorial video, which will be followed on from this one, but we've at least covered the basics in terms of color correction and relighting. There's going to be an advanced piece that uses Adobe After Effects following this video.